Protests in Iran, Mexican cartel retaliation. If you're standing around the water cooler at work or at happy hour with friends and say, what's going on in Iran? And what's all this Mexican cartel stuff? I will break it all down for you step by step. Let's rock. Welcome to the Joe Rossano Show. In Iran, tens of thousands of Iranians have taken to the streets demanding regime change. They're openly rejecting Sharia law. They're challenging the very foundation of the Islamic Republic known as Iran. At the same time, on the orders of President Trump, the U.S. has moved aircraft carriers into the region and military ordnance all over the place. And while protesters are chanting in the streets, the U.S. and Iran are at the negotiating table negotiating nuclear terms. Think about that. There's street unrest, a naval buildup, and nuclear diplomacy. Now, history reminds us of this. In 1979, if you were alive then, Iran held 52 American hostages for 444 days, a crisis that completely destroyed the Carter presidency. To Mexico, the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, Nemesio Asagora Cervantes, a.k.a. El Mencho, is dead after a U.S.-Mexican joint operation, Special Forces. But what happens after that kingpin fell? There's retaliation by the cartels all over the place now. They're blocking highways, burning vehicles, burning businesses, and now there is a power vacuum, and that could mean even more violence. So the question is simple. Are we watching two isolated crises? Are we watching a world that's entering a far more unstable phase? Please take a moment to click subscribe, like, share, comment. Click the notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. Appreciate that. Iran is seeing massive protests. They want regime change. I think people, folks, want freedom naturally. Now, Iran, especially over the last 47 years, they've never seen freedom. Many people do not have the freedom that we have here in America. I can go on this microphone right now, right on this show, in front of this camera, and criticize our president. Nothing will happen to me. Maybe somebody will say some stuff back to me, but I'm not in peril. If you criticize the leaders in Iran, you will get stoned to death. If you're a homosexual, gay person, LGBTQ community in Iran, you're dead. It's against the law. They will kill you. Now, the U.S. has aircraft carriers all over the place while they're having nuclear negotiations. And why? It's Donald Trump's approach of peace through strength. That's how he negotiates, okay? He points weapons at you, okay? He threatens you with cruise missiles and attacks while he's negotiating. It's peace through strength as far as he's concerned. I'm not sure if that was Ronald Reagan's thing, but it sure is Donald Trump's. So at the end of the day, that's where we are. The protests in Iran, obviously, it's not like, some of the protests you see here, which are violent protests, buildings on fire, looting, etc. Difference is in Iran, it's shoot to kill. The military, the police will kill you in Iran for protesting. It's exactly what's going on there, which is why we just really enjoy this wonderful freedom that we have here in America, because I got to tell you, in Iran, you don't have that type of freedom. So that's what's going on there, is you have the United States and Iran negotiating while there's a military buildup. More to come. More to come. Mexico. Well, now El Mencho is dead. The leader of one of the, if not the biggest cartel in Mexico. And now there's a power vacuum, which means who's taking over now? Who's going to be the next big cartel? Because it seems like these cartels never seem to go away. Uh, one of the best times of my life was vacationing in Cancun. I got to be honest with you, I'm scared to go there now. And that is a shame. Cartels have been in Mexico since Lord knows how long, and the government certainly has never made any attempt to stop them. President Trump has made them a terrorist organization, which means they are targets for death. They can kill the cartel now. No warnings, no arrests, none of that stuff. They are on the terrorist group. They are a terrorist watch list. And now they're subject to be eliminated, which you've just seen. And this is a big deal. This is a big deal. But, you ask yourself, now what? Now what? Who's next? What is next? Now, when we talk about Iran and Mexico, we're going to start with Iran here. Think about this. Anybody who was alive then, they had hostages in Iran in 1979 for 444 days. Do you know what I say to people when they mention that to me? Too soon? It happened in 1979. I was 10 years old. Too soon. That was probably the worst thing I had ever seen at that time was Americans with blindfolds on being held in Iran, and our government seemed powerless. Of course, until Ronald Reagan was inaugurated in 1981, and funny how the hostages were released and landed that day. Peace through strength. Now, again, hate Donald Trump or love Donald Trump, that's his negotiating style. And I'm not necessarily sure that's a bad thing. I speak for myself, and I speak for many of you, I think. I don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. I really don't. And, the Iranian people, they've been oppressed at least the past 47 years. And they want a regime change. They want, can you imagine what inflation looks like there? Inflation's about 40% in Iran. There's a major food crisis, a major economic crisis. And now they are staring down the barrel of U.S. missiles, of a U.S. attack. They've had it. They've had it. They've had it with the Shahs and etc. They've had it with the mullahs. They want freedom. They want peace. And I certainly hope they get it. Now, I don't like regime change like you saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. Okay, president, he campaigned on we don't do wars like that. We don't do regime change like that. But for the people of Iran to do it themselves, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. They should be able to install their own government and live in peace like everyone else. Mexico is our neighbor just to the south. Beautiful place. Anybody ever been to Cabo or any resorts down there? Beautiful. Beautiful. I can't believe all of that crime goes on down there, and the cartels are as powerful as they are. Where do you think all the drugs came from? Mexico. And the Mexican presidents never did anything about it, ever. So here we are now. Again, I always get back to this. President Trump, love him or hate him, he is doing everything he can to destroy the Mexican cartels. And I don't think the Mexican people, I don't think it's going to break their hearts to see the cartels gone forever. So we'll see how it works out. So to your questions and comments, so I get these comments all the time. I like to read them out here, and some people really let me have it. So, to Erika Kirk, um, instead of being beloved like I thought she should have been, after Charlie Kirk's death. I mean, think about it. She should be beloved. She was Charlie Kirk's widow. She's supposed to be like the most loved woman on earth right now, and she certainly isn't. Instead, from really a lot, 616, instead, she's like top 5 hated under Bibi, Trump, Pam Bondi, Lutnick, and Teal. Okay, so maybe 6. Is she? I mean, I got to tell you, more and more folks are really taking exception to Eric Kirk's behavior. They are taking exception to Erika Kirk's behavior. Really. Walking out in pyrotechnics, okay? Doing things that everyone says Charlie Kirk sure as heck wouldn't have done. Selling merchandise and hats and etc. at a memorial. It's gone too far. It's gone too far. If she's out there and she wonders why her reputation is so bad, this is why. This is why, Erika. Come on the show. We'll see if we can put a stop to this. Um, let's see. What else do we have here? Again, I gotta tell you folks, I absolutely love these. I love these. So uh it's so ugly, says Sandra G59. It really and truly is an attack on Charlie. They couldn't get to him, so they are now attacking her viciously. Candace is leading the pack on that. Candace is leading the pack on that, Sandra, but Erika Kirk is not helping the situation at all. She's not helping the situation at all. Now she has allegations of some inappropriate relationship with a 15-year-old girl. Tweets going back and forth, and they're private. Can't see them. And Erika does not come out and say, "Hey, you know what? I didn't do it." That's what I would do. If Erika Kirk came on the Joe Rossano show, one of my questions would be, Erika Kirk, did you conspire to work with someone, a government, either our government or a foreign government? Were you a government asset that conspired to kill your husband? Yes or no? See, I'd be front and center right now. I'd be on every talk show there is saying I didn't do it. I was here. I was there. I am not a handler. I'm not a government asset. I had nothing to do with my spouse's death. And she doesn't. She doesn't. Her public relations has been atrocious. And I'm not even sure who to blame it on. So the question of the day, at last we spoke, was, should President Trump give clemency to Ghislaine Maxwell, let her testify in front of Congress and tell her story, or leave her in jail? Leave her in jail. So we got quite a bit here. Everybody pretty much said, no, do not let her out of jail. Do not. I mean, that seems to be across the board here. So let me grab some of your comments. She would lie, so no, says Justin Ogle. Vicky Pessieux, I think I'm saying that right. Hell no. Terry, hell no. Willetta, F no. Why is that even a question? No, because her attorneys are asking for clemency in exchange for her tell her story, her entire story. Okay? Who was on the island? What what did Clinton do? What did Trump do? Any of them, Leonardo DiCaprio, Bruce Springsteen, Barack Obama, Alan Dershowitz. And this one I saved for last, Marvin, she's in Quebec, never been in prison. Now, I got to say this. One of the other podcasters put up an image, as I'm going to show you here, of Ghislaine Maxwell and an image of an interview she did recently. And I got to give this person credit. That does look a lot different. That doesn't look like Ghislaine Maxwell. But again, when it comes to this kind of stuff in our government and this and that, we all learned from the Kennedy assassination. We don't know who to believe. We don't know who to believe. So at the end of the day, that might not even be Ghislaine Maxwell. But there's also folks who think Charlie Kirk fell through a trap door, he ran down a tunnel, and he's still alive. I mean, it's one conspiracy theory after another, but here on the Joe Rossano show, we do try to stick to the facts. And as always, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, I greatly appreciate you spending some time with your pal Joe Rossano. We are unfiltered, unbiased, uncensored. Please, again, kindly subscribe, like, share, comment, click the notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano show. God bless you, my dearest friends and fellow Americans. And I kindly ask, as always, please don't forget to adopt a pet. And we'll see you next time.